Hi, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. This is a notebook therapy notebook. It's from their Vintage Rose collection. And this book is the Vintage Rose Pressed Petal Limited Edition. It comes in the original, which has 128 pages, the A5, which has 176 pages, and the B5, which has 176 pages as well. It's inspired by delicate pressed rose petals, and it has the signature bright white dot grid notebook paper. It has a beige velvet cover and it's decorated with a gold rose illustration. It's 160 GSM. There's two bookmark ribbons that are the same colour and an elastic band closure. 5mm distance on light grey dot grid, and it has lay flat design. This year I'm moving from memory planning to memory journaling, and I'm going to be using this notebook in order to achieve that. I want to be able to look back at the end of the year and remember all the little moments that matter, but I also want to have fun and be creative. So the first thing I want to do is work out how many pages I actually need and see, are there enough pages within this notebook to actually achieve that? Because I would prefer to keep it all in one book. The B5 has 176 pages. I need 12 months, and that will be for a dashboard and a cover page. I need 52 weeks, and then I need an extra week because I am including week 52 of 2022. But the thing is, each one of those need 2 pages, so I need to times them by 2. So I need to add 24, 104 and 2, and that gets me 130. Then I want to have an index page, so that will be 2 pages, which makes 132. So when you take the 176 pages that are available and minus 132, that'll leave me with 44 pages, and that's plenty. I'm not going to put things in for the sake of it, but it's good to know that if there's a week that I have a lot of journaling and I need more than 2 pages, I can, and as long as I keep track and minus off every time I use additional pages, then I should be able to contain it to one book okay. Moving on then to my cover page, I'm going to set it up, and normally I would just put my name here and then use the next page as a cover page, but I want to not use pages for the sake of it, like I was just saying, and not worry about writing my name and who this belongs to. And I thought long and hard about how I wanted to do this, and initially I thought I needed to be inspired by the cover and do a very vintage theme, and I also considered keeping it very simple and just writing year in my life 2023. But then I had the idea to do a collage of various things that represent me in 2023, so that when you look at it, it's a time capsule of who I am in 2023, and that got me excited, and I knew that that was what I wanted to do. As a base to the page, I'm going to put down some Distress Oxide inks in all my favourite colours. So starting with Ground Espresso, and because I'm going to use that section to represent my love of coffee, I am going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and use my coffee stencil to make a little splatter. And then the next colour I'm going to use is Iced Spruce. I love the colour green, I'm so into it at the minute. And Hickory Smoke for the colour grey. And I love really, really dark purple. I'm going to use Wilted Violet. There's a colour out now called Villainous Potion, and if I had had it, I would have used it. And then Faded Jeans. I love navy blue. Now, I did film myself putting down all the pictures that I had printed out from Google, but the footage corrupted, so this is what it looks like. And I'm going to talk you through now what each of these represents. This is a little pigeon with an S badge on the front because I had to represent my husband. My husband's name is Stephen. This is a purple lily because lily is my favourite flower and purple is my favourite colour. This is a digital from Coffee Monsterz Co, and it represents my obsession with stationery. I thought it was really funny. This represents the fact that I'm in the middle of decorating my home, and it's got a big focus for 2023, and these two represent that as well. This is a digital from Fox and Pip, and it represents me working from home. It says top knot double shot with 2 cups of coffee, and each of them say mine. This Hufflepuff badge is from Coffee Monsterz Co. It's a paid digital that I bought, and it represents my personality, loyalty, fair play, Hufflepuff traits. My husband would say that these represent the fact that I'm overdramatic, but actually it represents my love for music theatre and music in general. I have always been obsessed with it. This represents my love for coffee, very well known, very addicted. These represent journaling, because this is a year that I'm starting to creative journal really seriously. And then I coloured them in with some of my favourite Tombow colours in the same colour family that I had used in Distress Oxides, but I added in a black. And it was hard to choose because there are a lot of Tombow colours I like, but I'll write down the ones below that I ended up going with in the description. And then for the actual title, I printed out a rounded rectangle in grey, and then the writing I actually did in white, and I used a bronze Posca paint pen to write over the top of it, and that way I was able to do fancy writing but not actually have to do fancy writing. I just traced it. I enjoyed every second of doing this cover page, and I'm so glad I went with something that was very me, rather than pressurizing myself into doing something that maybe would have ended up a little more generically aesthetic. But you know, it's my journal, and do what makes you happy, and don't compare yourself to other people on Instagram and YouTube. Part of the reason why I did my cover page on the front and not on the next 2 pages and used a nameplate on the front was so I could do this. I want to glue this page together. It has that glue comes too high issue that quite a lot of notebooks have, and I just didn't want to deal with it. And if I had have did a nameplate and then glued the page and then did a cover page, I would have lost some of my 44, but I happily sacrificed these 2 to not deal with a glued issue, and I now have 42. Moving on to my index page, I bought this stencil specifically so that I could do numbers and lettering consistently and in a fancy way without having to repeatedly buy alpha stickers and have 20 unused letter Zs. And this way I can write, I'm going to write index here for my index page, and I'm going to use the 969 Tombow. But yes, I can write index, I can write week, I can write the numbers at the bottom of the page over and over and over again and have the same consistent font, and I like the idea of that. For the index page, I'm going to use an N95, and I'm going to highlight the lines on every other line, and this will just help my eye see the difference between the lines when I'm looking for page numbers, if that makes sense. And I just want to keep this index page very simple. And I don't want to add too much to this. I actually really love how this looks, but I think it just needs that little something. So I think I have an emoji with glasses on somewhere. I think that little nerdy emoji up at the top would just be really adorable. This. Oh, perfect. And in terms of opening pages setup, that is all I want to do. So I think I'm going to set up the month of January and get started with my cover page and my dashboard page. So this page will be the dashboard and this page will be the cover page. In the same way that I'm going to consistently use the stencil throughout the year, there are also some sticker sheets I'm going to use consistently. So this is from Planner Monkey Co. and it has all the days of the week for the entire year. And then I also have this from Coffee Monsterz Co. and it has all the holidays for the entire year, Both these will be used in the monthly dashboard and cover page. And then for the weeklies, I have these arrows from Karina Loves to Plan that I intend to use to point from journaling to a matching sticker or photo that coordinates with it or something like that. And I actually think I'm going to order a lot more of them because I can see myself using them consistently every week. And then specific for January, I'm going to use this Midnight collection from Coffee Monsterz Co. So this is the large Midnight doodles. And then as well as that, I have the full boxes from the Midnight's mini kit. Now in the past, I have been known to have a consistent theme when it comes to monthlies in my memory planner and even in my planner. So I would pick, for example, something like this, and then every month I would switch the theme and say maybe have the book nerd theme. And then I would have book nerd large doodles and book nerds mini kit, and then change that every month to a different theme with those same consistent elements. But I'm not going to do that this year. So even though I'm using both of these for January, I have no intention of repeating that every month. My theme will not be based around that. It'll be the content that is consistent. So every month I'm going to have a mind map. In the center of the mind map, there'll be something that represents the month. And as you can see here, I have a Galaxy 2023 seal from Coffee Monsterz Co. And that'll be in the center of the mind map, and then I'll have arms or legs coming out of it, and there'll be one to represent each week. This is also a sticker from that same range. It says New Year, although I don't think I'm going to use that in my mind map. But essentially, and you'll see whenever I create it here, each week will have a sticker that represents the theme of that week. So say I had a week that I had to get an antibiotic from the doctor, I would maybe put a little sticker of a doctor emoji holding a tub of pills or something like that. And that'll be on the right hand side, which will be the cover page. It'll have the title January above it. And then in the left hand side of the page, I've been keeping on my phone a list of birthdays for that month, and then every time I watch a film, I've been noting the date and what the film was, and that'll be a currently watching section. And I really thought, what do I want to put on my dashboard that isn't going to be contained within the weeks, so I'm not duplicating? So by putting a photo of the month, or this month I did this, that would cause duplication. And by having films within the week, I'd be taking up space, because I would rather have the this week I did this and here's a photo of what I did there. Let's get started on January, and I'm going to use the Midnight's theme like I mentioned. So I need to find some Tombow markers that will match this kit. And I mightn't necessarily always use Tombow markers to do my headers, but I'm going to this month. So let's see if we can find one that matches. And I think 553 and 603 are the best. And let's get it all set up. And last year I used these TV doodles. There's one for each season from Coffee Monsterz Co. But I can't help using them again for my currently watching because they are perfect. So I think I'll use this one. It's purple and blue, so it matches. And please don't judge me by how many films I watched in January. In my defense, I was sick and I was off work, taking a little break for New Year's and Christmas. So am so happy with how that turned out. I know I keep saying that, but it's just bringing me so much joy. And I'm going to continue to work away to set up all the weeks, but I thought I would show you me completing the first week to give you an idea of what it's going to look like and how I'm going to do it. So in the same way that I kept a record of things that I needed for January in the monthly, I've also been digitally journaling. So what I've done is I have just picked prompts. So for this particular week, I had week in general, Boxing Day, unplug Instagram and YouTube, take down decorations, and New Year's. And each week I pick a particular set of prompts and write them in advance. So I use the Notes app, and you can get that on the Mac computer and on my phone. So I will just lift my phone and put in the prompt as something happens. So for example, I pick another week. I have week in general, started to switch rooms, sick again, afternoon tea, and babysitting. And then at the end of the week, whenever I go to actually journal, I'll open up the Notes app on my computer and write in the journaling for those prompts. And that way then, whenever I go to do the decorative side, I just sit with my phone in front of me, and I then take those prompts and write them in. And I also print out any little pictures, photos. I'm going to use stickers just to add that little bit of extra creativity to the prompt. Going forward, I do intend to show you all the monthly setups, and then each month I'll probably pick a week and show you me journaling that week. However, if you specifically want me to make a video on how I do this process, showing you how I type in the journaling, etc., just let me know and I can do that, no problem. that is my setup completed, and I've done the month of January, dashboard and cover page, and I've done the first week. I'm going to continue on with the rest of the weeks in January, and then I'll check in with you again really soon and we'll get February done. And if you're interested in following my journey, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!